Mind Body Life show hosted by Frederick Entenmann on Global Voice Radio on Fridays at 10 a.m. Eastern. During his show, Mind Body Life founder and best-selling author Frederick Entenmann investigates the little-known insights and daily methods used to create explosive life transformations and transitions with those that have risen from struggle and ascended to greatness. Here is your Mind Body Life host, Frederick Entenmann.
Welcome to the Mind Body Life episode 4. I am your host, Frederick Entenmann, and I am a former professional athlete, best-selling author of Surviving Sports in the Game of Life, a consultant and coach, and I help athletes, executives, and future leaders achieve mind, body, and life harmony. You can find me on Facebook. Come on and join my team, Mind Body Life, on Instagram at Frederick Entenmann, and on Twitter at F.E. Entenmann. Now, what I'm going to talk about today is getting out of your comfort zone. And first and foremost, most everyone wants to know, well, what's the deal with this Mind Body Life? And what I'm going to do is give you a brief synopsis here on kind of my philosophy and what I'm about. And all I want you to do now is just imagine what your life would be like if you felt great, had that kid spirit, energy, some of the best moments and some of the best times even presently is when I'm around kids. And it's that pure essence that I want you to go back to, and that abounding passion about life that you really enjoy and then thrives in the thing you love or dream and desire. And that's what I'm all about. It is my passion and my mission to improve all aspects of wellness and consciousness and environment. And what I really want to do is help inspire people through the most challenging times and help them realize their own limiting belief systems. But even if an individual such as, I just want to say, a professional athlete or CEO, someone in the eyes of society that appears to be really successful because of their title or their profession, doesn't necessarily mean that they're happy on the inside or aligned on the inside. So to help someone break through these illusions and realize their potential and kind of live the life they wish is the ultimate feeling. And the reason why I'm so passionate about this is I never had that mentor. I never had that John Wooden-esque support or coach. And I have had to learn everything on my own through really, really tough times. And through those tough times, I have forged Mind Body Life. And to go into this a little deeper, the complete alignment, when I talk about alignment with your life, it can really manifest beautifully into your life art. And that to me is something that almost everyone in today's modern world is missing. It's creating that life art. It's not going according to society's expectations or following along like everyone else. It's working on the inside and developing a life that is an expression of who you really are. And I can tell you that when in alignment, there is no dreaded effort. And kind of what I mean by that is everyone wants to work Monday through Friday, and they can't wait for Friday. And that alone, that mindset drives me nuts, because every day, if you're totally aligned, every single day should be like a holiday. And it should be out of mere excitement because of inspired action. And when you're aligned, you'll project a personal communication that ultimately translates into a playful flow. It's, equal parts self-interrogation, I guess, is partly how you get there. And then constantly questioning to the 9th degree, always, is the kind of my philosophy. and the living through a creative manifestation, if you will. And it's the transformation through traditional wellness principles into innovation and kind of a parochialism into universalism, if you will. I was also a former educator, so not to go into that, but I have a different perspective than most. I've seen behind the curtain, and it's also going from like a codependency mindset into an interdependency that translates more or less into an interdependency. Now, this leads to the ability to adapt and overcome any given situation, because what this does, it flattens the box of convention and makes one less easily, pigeonholed, and while also preventing the self-power from ever getting to a point where it can become corrupt. And because when we align our hearts to our minds and our body, our actual priorities will shift from the ego self, which we are in a very ego-driven society, and we are engineered to be in our mind, stay in that ego. But when you turn that around and go back inward in your heart to care, to connect, to cooperate with the environment, all this really fills the place of that void that I think almost everyone that I've worked with feels. And the world is defined by what, the list is long, I know, but I guess I think of hierarchies and money and obedience or right and wrong or schedules and deadlines that it manages in rules over people, but it's become increasingly meaningless because now you have more unfulfilled people than ever, I believe, in American history. And because in order to feel truly free as a human being, personal choice and freedom must become increasingly meaningful. It must become passionate, and you must wake up with that excitement or that fire. And then I think all that's missing nowadays. I mean, it's such this infinite ability. It's the potential boon for both the individual and even their tribe. My tribe is a like-mindedness, high vibe, expressionistic people that are in alignment and doing what they love to do. But the influence of a vital person vitalizes, right? And my philosophy is pretty much nothing short of, let's just say, revitalizing sharpening stone used to sharpen or support and enliven the instrument, the human instrument. And it's through this complete alignment that one obtains these natural modalities and proven holistic remedies such as meditation or diet and exercise that I've seen through thousands of clients and professional athletes, law firms, corporate structures, and all kinds of people, all walks of people I have worked with, thousands upon thousands. I've seen people transform, and it helps us also when we become aligned with ourselves. It allows us to think less codependent and more independently, like I said, and I suppose the right word is compassionate, kind of like the famous environmentalist Derek Jensen. I don't know if you've heard of him or not, but he said we must learn how to think like the planet. And my philosophy, out of mind, body, and life, kind of boots us out of one's ego mind or the chatter mind into a state of no mind, where then you can learn to embrace your intuition without reins or the prison or that grip of self-judgment or criticism that so many are suffering from right this moment, and that I help them with. If one recognizes that they're living in their head, and the pathway is actually at the heart, which feels its way and is free to navigate through those kind of unwarrantable waters of the human condition without all the psychosocial hangups that kind of plague the ill-programmed mind, if you will. And then once you become properly aligned again, it kind of kicks us out of the chatter or all that wordy ego talk into a language that I'm telling you, it's older than words itself. You might not know what I mean by that, but if you were to just be quiet for 1/2 hour without any distractions, you'll soon realize what I mean. Time will stop. You'll think clear for once. You'll have zero stress or anxiety. And everything you kind of felt that felt overwhelming to you would subside for a good 10 minutes to 20 minutes. Just from being quiet for 1/2 hour. I promise. You know, when we truly learn about ourselves, it changes us profoundly. And that's another part of why I founded Mind Body Life, because it launches one into true self. And we don't find that we find that we're no longer limited or withdrawn by that small picture thinking, such as I need to go to school, need to get my degree and go work for someone else. And rather become vitalized by the big picture thinking. We're here to create, folks, and I think we've really gotten away from that. And it is really the source of unhappiness with about 95% of people I deal with or talk to. Not to ramble, but, you know, another source of freedom is living without fear or even emotional baggage. And when alignment occurs, I've seen people grow their wings. And I love a saying by Leonardo da Vinci says, "For once you have tasted flight, you will walk the earth with your eyes turned skywards. For there you've been, and there you will long to return." And Mind Body Life creates that sustainable sacred space inside one, when you travel inward, where you can find yourself again and again. And that's where your imagination's allowed to fly. It's not outside, externally, it's inward. And the more one practices this mind, body, life lifestyle, the more one maintains their heart's vitality, the more we can resonate with our immediate environment and not judge it, not compare, not complain. The heart obtains its own intelligence. You know, the mind, body, life goal is making our heartbeat kind of match the beat of the incredible universe, and it helps us let go of expectation and then embrace what our destiny has in store for us. It's from this sacred space that we're free to discover our bliss. And our bliss is actually our life's passion for what we're put here to do. Like I said, each individual is very unique, and that's really my passion is getting an individual back to that, because once we discover what really excites us and we remember who we are and travel inward, then we can make that the basis for our personal hero's journey. I also like a saying, and I actually went to two schools in Germany for literature, and then in the United States, I actually got my language arts licensure for grades 7 through 12 in the state of Ohio. So I'm big into reading and learning, and I love quotations. And one I want to share with you is "Follow your bliss, and the universe will open doors where they were only walls." Because you know what? no wall is big enough to withstand the power of a genuine heart, of a strong body and mind, and your aligned spirit. Not even the walls of the heart. Think about it. Heartbreak doesn't hurt because our heart's breaking, literally. It hurts because our heart is growing, and it's expanding and connecting, and it's actually getting bigger. It's actually becoming the world. It's that intelligent. But here's the rub, okay? And there will always be walls. And that, my friends, that's okay. That's actually why growth is a process in a journey. And like they say, not a destination, right? The walls will go up. I think that's part of life. And actually, from my experience in 40 some odd years, they tend to stay up unless something brings them down. Authentic personal growth is just the leveling mechanism needed to bring them down. The ego itself is a wall before the first of walls. And, I guess more or less what I do, I dissolve these too hard kind of exo coverings around the heart so you can open up. And it's actually this aftermath that creates that sacred space for that vital resurrection, to actually live, to fully, deeply, and authentically live takes guts these days. A lot of people, I'm used to it, and I know who I am, and a lot of people think I'm just out of my mind for doing what I do, but that's okay, because being confronted and then recognizing not only what the things we dislike about ourselves and transcend love in our new one, but with the daily discipline of the practice, it's those inevitable pains and confronting the differences or dissembling what once was normal, and then reinventing the general way of doing things that shines up our conditioning. It's like, it reminds me of Narcissus at the pool, if you know ancient Greek history. And the difference is we have the opportunity not to drown in the fact of recognizing our own attachments, and letting go of these is really a clairvoyant process. And it's often through experiencing other hidden agendas. Just noticing those moments of discomfort in ourselves when confronted with something new, it can aid us in shedding the flakes of the ego. Okay, it's no longer needed, more or less, and it brings us closer to an authentic sense of self, or one that's been unfettered by society's agenda and prejudices, but primarily built on fear. Another novelist, my formative years, like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, that formative, my younger years, I was a huge James Herbert sci-fi fan, and I read Dune one weekend, and I'll never forget it. Fear is the mind killer, and that stuck with me. It really spoke to me. But the life journey that ultimately led to a founding of my mind, body, life business is an immersive, holistic, preventative approach that promotes a organic, whole foods diet, which just means eating. And it's quieting the mind, that's huge, and applying intensive lifestyle accountability habits, such as exercise and yoga, meditation, mindfulness. It's a holistic program that addresses the mind, body, and big thinking abounding life that we've all gotten away from. And when you get back to it, it seems like climbing Mount Everest. But if it was easy, everyone would do it, right? But I can tell you the results of a mind-body-life philosophy put into practice have been nothing short of extraordinary. I mean, it's radically and permanently improving the health and wellness of lives and of the environment. Collective consciousness, Carl Jung, it's a real thing. You know, the clientele that have just spent 1 year with me have a renewed passionate verve or zest and fire for life. They can now practice a life of balance, a life experience of their dreams. The stories are really profound. And especially considering the developing world is now really confronting catastrophic proportions of lifestyle-related illness. It's unprecedented in the history of humankind. I mean, ironically, 80 to 90% of chronic illnesses such as obesity, atherosclerosis, type 2 diabetes, or, you know, the list really goes on, and we know that. But most things are preventable and oftentimes even reversible via a simple diet and lifestyle altercations. But how have we all lost a sense of accountability, the sense of wanting and not wanting something better and just not settling for average or blasé? You know, I can preach all day, but to truly capture the attention of the mainstream and catalyze kind of seismic cultural change and put an end to avoidable disease, we desperately need more personal accountability, and especially authentic leaders who abhor the prescription pad and understand the otherwise complicated mechanisms that lead to these diseases. Or I question if some of them are actually real, if they're not manipulated. I know it sounds a little off, but, you know, I'm compelled to implement holistic preventative measures because that's what really works. If you're preventative, then 9 out of 10 times you'll never experience any of those symptoms. And it's the accountability, it's the proper growth and mindset required to combat and avoid them all together. That is what I'm so passionate about, helping others get to that place. And I've worked with thousands of clientele over 15 years, from college sports teams, again, corporate offices and law firms, and individuals from every walk of life. It's really unbelievable. I love to connect with just about every type of person except jerks. You know, all have one seemingly consistent. Deep within, are you frustrated and dissatisfied with your consistent inability to achieve true health? And I almost think everyone has this battle. It's almost like there's a lethargic and unenthusiasticness about society anymore. And well-being is awareness and growth every day, every single day, through mind, body, and life. You can make this low energy or a depressed state, whether maybe you're disappointed or judgmental, when you look in the mirror, I can tell you, when you start working on yourself, you'll start feeling well-being today once you start, no matter what else is going on in your life, really. I think the sad thing is, though, most view change, most view growth, or even a positive situation as a negative anymore, because it challenges the habitual routine. And it goes without saying, the first few days, weeks, or month, if you listen to anyone in personal growth, and you already know this, I think most don't tackle this path because it's very difficult, okay? And it's those first few months getting through that tend to overwhelm people because it's so expansive when you get out of your debilitating habits that have gotten you to where you are in the first place. And it's taking that stand, takes a huge decision, and then a commitment of overcoming these negative patterns that are the resistance. And we're so much stronger and adaptable to any change. And of course, it's challenging at first, but after the first month, it's, putting in those first initial 30 days, and it gets a little easier. In the second month, you have 60 days under your belt, it's a little lighter. And then, the third month, you're 90 days in, and boom, you hit your pace, and life suddenly gets a little better, and confidence is gained, and you look better, and you feel better, and everyone starts noticing the positive changes. Oh my gosh, I'm doing it. And now they want to do what you're doing, and they're inspired by you. And that, my friends, is what inspires me. Everybody wants to feel innately human with that abundant energy and vitality and wellness, thrive in an inspired, at ease, not dis-ease, and that at ease, positive atmosphere. You ever been around someone that's really positive, really high on life? It is, to me, it's extremely comfortable being around that, because anything less, a lower vibration, as I like to say, it supports disease. It's a collective negative environment that I despise. That's where the energy vampires hang out. That's where the complainers hang out and whine and victimize. It's being mindful, being one and present with yourself, not anyone else. It's being present with you, and it's the hypnotic confusion associated with comparing, competing, or commiserating that often takes us away from the present now, right here, right now, not the past or future, which only leaves us exasperated with those judgmental, undesirable feelings. I see that in my best-selling book, Surviving Sports in the Game of Life. I call them the 3 C's, and I coined that: comparing, competing, commiserating. It's only when we learn to fully love ourselves can we truly let go. People out of fear, out of comparing, out of competing, we've really lost ourselves, and we've in turn lost the ability to practice self-love. I also teach that, and embracing the present as it was meant to be. This makes us feel vital, makes us feel energized, and ultimately alive, because clarity flows from mindfulness associated with alignment and balance and wellness and vitality. I feel like I'm talking everyone's ear off, but that's more or less my mind, body, life philosophy. I could go on and on. I want to actually give you some tools right now. Running out of time here. I try to do most of these shows one by myself, 20 to 30 minutes. And since we're headed into a new year, 2018, I can't believe it. I really hope you don't want to repeat a 2017. I hope you want to enter the new year with new goals, new plans, new sights. And here's how to step out of your comfort zone. Okay? I know it's uncomfortable, but you want to do it on a regular basis. Okay? You don't want to run and escape from the fire. You want to head right into the storm, ladies and gentlemen. Have you ever wondered why procrastination exists? It's painful to grow, right? You ever tried playing an instrument or even the first 3 years of trying to dribble a basketball? It's painful trying to get good at anything. That's the law. I used to procrastinate because I just wanted to avoid that pain, or my ego is just, oh, you stink, you're no good. And I didn't want to feel like that. But anymore, I can't stand the anxious feeling of knowing that if I'm not prepared or on top of anything that needs to get done or be done, the longer I wait, the more that anxiety builds up. And I know I can't sleep or I can't think straight. Then I just become a grouch. And I'm not like that. But you want to head right into the storm. And the more you practice that, and the more you practice the difficult things, can start with making your bed first thing in the morning. In order to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, you need to step out of your comfort zone on a regular basis. As much as possible, it will get easier. The more comfortable you get with trying new things, the less you're going to avoid it. And then the more you're going to say yes to new challenges, because they won't intimidate you. You'll become very at ease with heading, like I say, straight into the storm. You also want to start small, actually smaller than you think. You don't have to throw your entire routine out the window, okay, to step out of your new comfort zone. Just try taking small steps, like driving a different route to work or even moving your desk to a different location. Clean your, sounds silly, but go through your clothing drawers and actually neaten them up. Make your bed. Organize your shoes in your closet. Things like this that drive you crazy that you don't like to do, right? It's a lot of discipline. But it's these things that also help you get comfortable with the discomfort that comes from trying something new. So start trying as many new things as possible, but let's just say one a week, okay? And I want you to also reinterpret your fear. In order to overcome your fear of trying something new, all you have to do is reframe those feelings of fear as feelings of excitement and opportunity. So when viewed in kind of a positive light, those butterflies in your stomach, they'll soon seem as welcoming rather than something that you seek to avoid. Trust me, avoidance is self-sabotaging procrastination, people. And that is what you want to get away from. That is what's holding you back, and that's why you have an empty void inside of you. Look for a challenge this year. Doing something that challenges you, that is challenging or is going to challenge you, it's going to give you a whole different outlook. It's going to make you receptive to change. When you take on something challenging, you experience an endorphin rush, and you'll often feel recharged afterwards as well. I love challenges, and it's actually, to be honest, it's the reason why I started this podcast. I had such a-holes for coaches and mentors and actually teachers, and I really did not come from a pleasant background that I wish so much I could have had that. Like I say, the first guy that comes to mind, John Wooden-esque coach that, yeah, he can give me a hard time, say, gosh, you do this so great and I see this potential, but here's what we want to do to elevate what you already have. And that is the outlook that you want to have. And I want you to think about, wow, I feel so overwhelmed right now. If that's what you're feeling, I am always here for you. Okay, there's mentors and there's books and there's help out there for you, but you have to start with yourself. Okay, focus on the why. So having a mission statement of why you're stepping out of your comfort zone, this can help you overcome the fear of actually doing it. And I actually script my why every single day. Every single day I'm journaling. I write out the benefits of doing the activity, such as to build courage or to become more creative, and why. Why do I want to do it? Because I'm crushing the fear and moving forward. And looking at the why, when you start to kind of get stressed out, it can help bring down your stress levels, actually. The cortisol will come down, and it'll make it easier to actually accomplish the task. Hey, if you don't know what you're doing, a general rule of thumb, I'm telling you, I've learned 3 hard years because I was so stubborn. I didn't outsource. And once you start seeking the help and the outsourcing, that's when you'll grow. That's what the experts are for. You know, I love the quote by Albert Einstein as well. If you think by doing the same thing over and over and you're expecting different results, that is really insanity. So go seek the help. Go get the help. Invest in yourself. That's your self-worth. And then ask yourself powerful questions in the process also. What can I do right now to alleviate this situation? There is an answer. It will come to you. And I also go back to, wouldn't it be nice if, I'm human. As high and bright as you think I am, I still have my days. I'm an entrepreneur. And let me tell you, there are some rocks. There are some bumps. I always go back if I start feeling low or negativity starts creeping in. Wouldn't it be nice if, and you kind of go along the spiel in this play. But at the end, ladies and gentlemen, you have to take action. You can't think about it. You can't talk about it. You can't dream about it. You can't even be slightly negative about it. If you want to move forward, you have to take action. And once you take action on anything, that's when you move forward. You create momentum, okay? I hope everyone's got a little something or another out of this podcast. I think the next 2 will actually be more or less the same. If you enjoyed this, please share. Please talk. Please keep in touch. You know what? If you want to know more about me, go to Facebook and ask to join my team, Mind, Body, Life. If you really feel motivated now or inspired and oh my gosh, I want to do something really outside of my comfort zone in 2018, you can contact me. Always direct message me via Instagram or Facebook, or just go to LinkedIn. My whole profile is set up there. I'd be more than happy to speak with you about your dreams and visions and how I can get you there. Through my coaching, if you want to reach new heights in interpersonal growth. I also have a Seize the Day program that's closing out the end of this year. It's going to be a group of 6 individuals that are pretty much all on the same page in terms of the level of growth they want to achieve in just 90 days. And there's a couple seats left in that. SeizeTheDayProgram.com. SeizeTheDayProgram.com. And every single Friday at 10 a.m., you can look forward to my Mind, Body, Life podcast. It's been a blast. I hope you have a great weekend. And remember, every day counts. And act like every day is your last. Take care.
Thank you for joining us. Listen every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern to Frederick Entenmann host Mind, Body, Life. Connect with Frederick at www.globalvoiceradio.com. Tune in next week for another edition of Mind, Body, Life on Global Voice Radio